Hi, my name is Drew Terrell, and for my health communication campaign, I chose to focus on sleep deprivation amongst night shift workers. This topic stood out to me because it's an issue that affects millions of people, but it rarely gets talked about even though the consequences can be huge. Sleep is one of the most important parts of staying healthy, but a large portion of adults don't get the recommended 7 to 9 hours a night. Sleep deprivation becomes a serious problem when it's happening consistently. Short-term sleep deprivation affects reaction time, concentration, mood, and accuracy. Long-term, though, it raises the risk of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, anxiety, depression, and a weakened immune system. What makes this issue even worse is that sleep deprivation doesn't just hurt one person, it affects everybody in the workplace. Accidents increase, mistakes happen more often, and industries spend billions each year dealing with the problems that come from fatigue. I chose night shift workers because they represent 15 to 20% of the total U.S. workforce. This is a huge population. They work in areas like healthcare, transportation, manufacturing, security, and emergency services. These are all jobs where mistakes can have serious consequences. Their biggest obstacle is that their work schedules directly fight against the body's natural sleep cycle. Trying to sleep during the day means dealing with the sunlight, noise, family responsibilities, and irregular routines. A lot of these challenges are outside their control, which means health communication for this group needs to be realistic, supportive, and simple. Most shift workers already feel tired, overwhelmed, and overlooked, so the tone of the messages need to match the reality. There are many key challenges that come to getting night shift workers on good sleep schedules. The key challenges are circadian rhythm disruption, irregular and rotating shifts, daytime sleep environment challenges, family responsibility, and social isolation and emotional strain. The effects of poor sleep show up quickly. Short-term consequences include slower reaction times, trouble concentrating, mood swings, and poor coordination. These issues can be dangerous in any job, but especially in ones involving machinery, driving, or patient care. Long-term consequences include heart disease, diabetes, weight gain, depression, anxiety, and a weakened immune system. It becomes harder to recover, and even days off don't fully fix their sleep deficits. The theory that I used to guide my campaign towards night shift workers was the health belief model, or the HBM. The HBM looks at how people think about their own health risks and what motivates them to change their daily lives and actions. It focuses on their beliefs about susceptibility, severity, benefits, barriers, and their confidence in making a change. Night shift workers often underestimate how harmful chronic fatigue is, or they feel like nothing they do can fix it because of their schedules. I created messages that make small changes feel achievable. I also used research to support the campaign. Johns and Becker found that people are more likely to change behavior when they understand both the threat and the benefits. Keckland and Ackelson showed that circadian rhythm disruption leads to major health problems, which reinforce the need for targeted communication. This is the first message in my campaign, and it's a work poster designed specifically for night shift workers. I chose the poster format because it's something workers naturally see during their shift without having to take time out of their day to look at it or look up more information. I chose places like break rooms, hallways, and timed clock areas because employees pass by them multiple times a night or throughout their shift. The headline says, "Sleep stronger, night shift better." I chose this headline because I feel like there are a lot of negative messaged outreach, and I feel like people need to do a better job about positively approaching this issue. Night shift workers are already doing a demanding job, so I wanted the tone to be encouraging and supportive instead of critical of them. The tips on the poster I put are short, practical, and realistic. I didn't want to overwhelm people who are already exhausted, so I focused on small changes they can actually fit into their routine. A few examples are limiting caffeine near the end of their shift, using blackout curtains to make daytime sleep easier, keeping a consistent sleep schedule on off days, and using white noise to block daytime sounds. At the bottom of the poster, I added a QR code. This would give workers the option to learn more when it's convenient for them, instead of crowding the poster with more text. If the person wants more detailed resources, they can access them on their own time with this. I think this poster works because it meets night shift workers where they are. It doesn't ask them to read long explanations or change their whole lifestyle overnight. My goal was to give them encouragement and small achievable steps that can make sleep a little more manageable, even with a tough schedule. This is the second message in my campaign. It's designed to be an Instagram post designed for night shift workers who are already using their phones during breaks or right before they're going to sleep. Social media is one of the most used ways that people pass the time during their shifts or in their break time. So this makes sense for reaching workers at a moment when they might actually take in the message and be able to use it. The design is simple and easy to understand. The post says, "Turn off your screen and turn on better sleep." I chose that message because screen time, especially at night, is one of the biggest barriers to falling asleep. The blue light from phones keep the brain alert and make it harder for night shift workers to wind down once they get home. I added a friendly cartoon sloth because I felt it would help make the tone feel more relaxed and supportive. Night shift workers are already stretched thin with just their daily work, so the goal wasn't to warn or scare them. It was just to gently remind them of a habit they might not think about, but would make a huge difference. I think this message works well on Instagram because it's fast, it's a fast visual, and it doesn't require much effort. You can just keep scrolling past it if you want. I think it's just a small cue to help them disconnect and give them a better chance at falling asleep quickly. I chose a poster and an Instagram post for pretty specific reasons. The poster reaches workers where they're at during their shift and in places they already walked through, and Instagram reaches them right before they go to bed or get on break. Both formats are real simple and don't require much effort or energy to read. They match the lifestyle and routines of night shift workers. Combining the two, I think, helps reinforce sleep supportive habits while also keeping the communication realistic and approachable. Overall, I think sleep deprivation is a major public health issue and that it affects millions of people, but night shift workers experience it more intensely than almost anyone else. Their schedules and their environments make it almost impossible to get good sleep. My campaign aims to meet these workers where they are and give them small steps they can actually take to help them feel better in the future. By using the health belief model and communicating through channels like Instagram and the buildings where the workers are at, I encourage healthier sleep habits in a way that fits into their lives. Thank you for following along. Let's tackle sleep deprivation.